Okay, let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever had those moments where you're totally capable of doing something, but you still can't get yourself to actually do it? It's like your brain knows what to do, but then just stops. Yeah, I've been there. And honestly, I'm guessing you've probably felt that way too. You're not lazy, not unmotivated, but something's still blocking you from taking action. So why does this happen? Why do smart people, people like you, who know what they need to do, still get stuck? Welcome to Lock Theory number 1. This is the first video in our series where we dig into how your brain works and why your mental barriers are keeping you from doing the things you want to do, without relying on discipline, motivation, or willpower. It's not about you being lazy. It's not about you being unqualified. In fact, it's something much deeper. Today, we're going to break down why you're still stuck, even though you're probably smarter than a lot of people around you. Let me paint you a picture. You're in school, and you have an assignment due. You've known about it for days, maybe even weeks, and yet here you are, sitting at your desk, staring at a blank page. Your mind races with all the ideas you could write about, but somehow, the pen's not moving. And what's worse, you feel this weight on your shoulders, like, I should be able to do this, I'm smart, I know this stuff. But here's the twist. Being smart doesn't mean you're immune to procrastination. Being smart doesn't mean you have some secret power that makes it easier to get things done. In fact, it can sometimes make it worse. So, what's the real reason smart people stay stuck? It's something I call the smart trap. When you're the smart one, people expect you to have it all figured out. So you start identifying as that person, the one who can solve problems quickly, the one with all the answers. But here's the catch. This identity can actually hold you back. When you tie your identity too tightly to being the smart one, you end up paralyzed by this pressure. You don't want to fail, so you avoid doing anything at all. And when you do try, you're weighed down by self-doubt. You're stuck between what you should be doing and what you're actually doing, which is not much. Here's where it gets interesting. It's not laziness, it's friction. Friction is anything that makes starting or continuing a task feel hard. And this friction is way more than just, oh, I don't feel like it. It's psychological resistance. It's that mental wall you hit when you're too focused on how perfect something should be, or how you don't want to risk your smart identity by making a mistake. You're so busy trying to protect your image as the smart person that you're avoiding the messy process of actually doing the work. So how do we get past this? How do we beat this friction? First, you need to change your perspective. Instead of trying to force yourself to be perfect or expecting a huge surge of motivation, focus on just starting. I know it sounds simple, but trust me, the act of starting is more powerful than you think. Here's why. When you look at the entire task in front of you, it can feel overwhelming. You start thinking, I have to finish this whole thing perfectly, and that creates resistance. That's when the friction builds up. But when you break it down and focus on the first, smallest step, just picking up the pen or opening the document, something shifts. The key here is to stop trying to jump to the finish line. Just focus on getting the wheels turning. Don't worry about how long it's going to take or how good it's going to be. Just start. That act of starting breaks the friction down. And here's the thing. Once you've begun, the momentum starts to carry you forward. The hardest part is the first step. After that, the work becomes less about forcing yourself to do something and more about continuing the momentum you've already built. Even if you're only writing one sentence or reading one paragraph, that's progress. You've set the wheels in motion, and that tiny step has the power to shift your entire mindset. Instead of feeling stuck, you're now in motion. And once you're in motion, you'll find it a lot easier to keep going. Just give yourself permission to start small, and don't overthink it. Remember, perfection doesn't matter here. What matters is breaking the mental block and getting that first step done. Just start. That's all you need to do right now. But here's the thing. Just getting started isn't enough. There's a second key to this whole thing, and it's something most people never consider. You're going to have to get comfortable with being bad at something before you get good at it. And that's exactly why so many smart people avoid starting in the first place. They want it to be easy. But trust me, it won't be easy at first. And that's okay. This second shift is about building systems that remove friction. So instead of relying on willpower or motivation, create a system where it's easier to get started. Here's the key. You don't need to rely on raw willpower to push yourself through a task. In fact, that's a recipe for burnout. What you need is a system that automatically lowers the barrier to entry. Think about it. When you sit down to work, don't expect yourself to dive into the task all at once. That's when the resistance hits. Instead, set a timer for just 10 minutes. That's it, 10 minutes. And when the timer goes off, you can stop if you want. You've only committed to a short, manageable time, so there's no pressure to do more than you can handle. Now here's the trick. Most of the time, once the timer goes off, you'll find yourself continuing. Why? Because the hardest part is just getting started. Once you're in motion, the friction starts to fade. It's like the initial hurdle is the only thing standing in your way. And when you take that first step, whether it's writing one sentence or opening the document, you've already made progress. You've removed the psychological barrier that was holding you back. But that doesn't mean the timer is some magical fix. It's the system. You've taken away the pressure and made it easier to just get in there and work. The real win here is that you've created an environment where it's almost impossible not to make progress, no matter how small the step. So try it out. Set that timer. Don't force yourself to be productive for hours at a time, just 10 minutes. And you'll see that once you're in, you won't want to stop. Here's what I want you to take away from today. The reason you're stuck isn't because you're lazy or unmotivated. It's because your brain is holding you back with friction, and your identity as the smart one is locking you in place. But you can break free. Start small, remove friction, and most importantly, let go of needing to be perfect. Start taking action today, even if it's messy. The smartest people aren't the ones who avoid mistakes. They're the ones who learn to move through them. So try this tonight. Set a timer. Start with something small. Let's level up together and start breaking that mental barrier down.